पुराने को नाम दे दिया नया, पर नए में सचमुच नया क्या आया। पर नए में सचमुच नया क्या आया, जब नए में ही पुराना था चिपकाना। जब नए में ही पुराना था चिपकाना, तो फिर पुराने में दोष क्या पाया।
47 years and 50 years. I will set the context in a minute or two. On behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association, I warmly welcome all of you today over here for the 46th consecutive year of AMA's analysis on the Union Budget Program. A big hand, please. Since 1981, this flagship initiative has helped professionals to understand the Union budget with clarity and perspective. The Union Budget 2026 is especially relevant as India balances global challenges with internal growth and the need of fiscal discipline. It is my privilege to introduce Shri Mukesh Bhai Patel, renowned advocate and eminent international tax expert, past president of AMA, and is known for his clear and practical insights on the finance bill. I would also say, to a great extent, since the time I've been involved with AMA, he has been a great mentor to me. Thank you, Mukesh Bhai. Union Budget 2026 will mark a momentous milestone of Shri Mukesh Bhai Patel as it unfolds the golden opportunity of his 50th budget analysis since 1977. It is not 47, it is 46 years in my first statement, one error. And 46 years at AMA since 1981. That requires even a bigger clap because it combines AMA with Mukesh Bhai. 5 decades of this memorable journey in the wonderland of budgets by 16 finance ministers has offered him the great fortune to travel to over 50 cities in India and abroad and address over 500 small and large gatherings. I also welcome Dr. Savan Godiawala, visiting professor at IIM Ahmedabad and IIT Gandhinagar, former partner at Deloitte, and the past president at AMA, who will present the economic survey analysis. With this, I invite Mukesh Bhai to take over the podium for his talk on chills and thrills at the Finance Bill 2026. Over to you, Mukesh Bhai.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv Bhai, for your very kind words. And of course, my association with AMA is as long as these 46 years. And in fact, had it not been for budgets, probably I don't recall any tax consultant having become, apart from, of course, my friend who joined later, Savan, plunge in as a president of a management association. But my close connections with AMA gave me the opportunity of not just then restricting it to my relationship with budgets, but then with friends like so many of them who I see here, particularly in my team when I took over as president, my dear friend Yatindra Bhai Sharma and friends like Divyesh Radia and others. We all work together and of course have very sweet memories. You reminded me of Dr. Bimal Patel, who walked in just a while ago, 30 years ago, because the AMA, this building, is going to be 30 years very soon. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge very graciously the presence of a dear friend, and I feel very honored and privileged to have here amongst us today. Friends, I would request you to give a big round of applause for Sri Harin Bhai Pathak. Friends, out of these 50 years of budget, he has been associated in the parliament, seven from 1989 to 2014, 7 terms and 25 years without a break, without a break. And I've had the privilege of interacting with him for all the 25 years. When we used to very closely, interact. And if I had some concern, at least in those days, I had a HMV, as we call his master's voice, who would, on my behalf and on behalf of the taxpayers, raise a voice. I would want to. In fact, the rainbow colors on the shawl, it's almost like a rainbow, reminds me to start with this small little observation that this incidentally happened to be, if we exclude the interim budget, because she was not supposed to be doing anything in that, but after a full rainbow of 7 years, this was Nirmala ji's 8th budget. And after the rainbow of the 7 budgets, where I think some lovely gifts by way of bonanza had been offered to direct taxpayers. And I'm making a reference to this because I am to talk on the finance bill. I will leave the domain of the economic aspects of the budget, except for saying that I want to make it very clear, while I am going to be, Savanbhai, quite critical about the chills and thrills of the finance bill, as far as the budget as a whole is concerned, with its vision of Viksit Bharat and Atmanirbhar Bharat, I have commented all along that for Viksit Bharat, this is certainly, as was mentioned by her and the Honorable Prime Minister also, this is a reform express, no doubt. But my grievance and complaint, and this is what I have been voicing for the past 49 years, and Whenever required, I have also saluted the finance minister or ministers, and at the same time, I have taken the liberty to call spade a spade. I think that has always given me the rightful credibility. So, with due respect, I am going to be critical because if the budget was from the economic point of view, a reform express from the direct tax angle or on the direct tax front, it is nothing but less than a local shuttle train. Why? Because the local shuttle doesn't have that speed and velocity. It, you know, we were expecting this was a great year in the sense it was a year of confluence, confluence, where the 1961 Act was to be bidden goodbye, 31st March 26. And from 1st April 26, we were to have the new, in fact, she has already announced that we are going to have the new Income Tax Act of 2025. We had the 1922 Act, which lasted almost for 40 years. 1961 Act, which of course, let me tell you, this Income Tax Act is such a, like you can compare it with a naughty, tiny toddler, very difficult to hold and keep steady. The toddler always wants to jump out of your hands or do this or that mischief. So our concern always was, in fact, I have, and Harinbhai is a witness to that, in this very forum, this exercise started from the 2009 Direct Tax Code. You recall, it was Mr. Chidambaram who had said at that time, I want to do something. And he tried to initiate it. But we raised our voice against so many grave concerns that we had. And as time passed by, Pranav Babu then realized that it will not work. And we in fact came up with a slogan, dump the direct tax code. And I remember in this very hall, we had at that time the chairman of the select committee and the former finance minister, Shri Ashwin Sinha, who was very much here. And we had presented to him. And finally, based on the recommendations, they, Pranab Da, when he was the finance minister, he said, I want to give up this exercise. The next phase started, and we brought about several meaningful tax reforms. Justice Ishwar Committee, based on the direct tax code. And I think the greatest event that ever happened, about which, I have acknowledged even in my video clips, is when the Honorable Prime Minister had that, faith and trust and courage to set up this PPP, public-private partnership, that we did in terms of presenting a series of proposals for simplification and rationalization. And one of the star proposals, friends, if you recall, was the faceless assessment, which has come to stay. I remember on 13th of August, 2020, it's now almost more than 5 years that it has anchored its roots. A lot of things have taken place. But then the speed with which they wanted to rush through this Income Tax Act of 2025. And with all due respect, I want to say why I am having my grave reservations about whether the 2025 Act will at all serve its purpose is, I think those of my professional friends who know about it can be, if I have to explain this, I would just be able to best illustrate with this small little example to my Ahmedabadi audience. And I said, Gujarati ni baat karo chu, Majani, small little thing. Take a joint family, and it is comprising of, say, 12 members. What are the names of them? They are all living in a house. Petha bhai, Amtha bhai, Kachra bhai, Joita bhai, Mani ben, Shakri ben, Kapila ben, Devika ben, Somo, Nagji, Kanji, Kanu, almost a dozen of them. Same house, 12 members. And one fine morning, somebody says, you will continue to live in this house, but we will change all the names. Petha Bhai will become Kachra Bhai, and Joita Bhai will become Amtha Bhai, and Mani Ben and Shakri Ben, all names, like this. You are changing all the names. Otherwise, the same house, the same members. And then, પછી જુઓ મજા. સાહેબ, ઘરની અંદર એક નવી વહુ આવે કે જેનું પિયરમાં કંઈક જુદું નામ હોય, had a different name, and સાસરામાં there is a different name. તો સાસુ સસરાને એના હસબન્ડને પણ તકલીફ પડી જાય આ નામ યાદ, જૂનું નવું યાદ રાખતા, ઓલ્ડ એન્ડ ન્યૂ. હવે અહીંયા તો you had a full income tax act with so many sections, and you have all, what you have done is, let me be very honest, and I have no reservations. I'll take the challenge if I have to prove it, that I am wrong. They bodily lifted the Income Tax Act 1961, put it in the AI machine. What were you give commands. Commands were, we want 1 to serial numbers, no ABCD, no ATCD, EF, no. Okay. We don't want any provisos. We don't want any explanations. We don't want notwithstanding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commands were given, and it was all put. Several groups were formed in the North Block, everybody having separate chapters and this and that, and then that was all rolled into one. But what was it finally? It was nothing else but merely new wine in the old bottle. And this is what has happened. So last night, in fact, last night is not the correct word. Until early this morning, until the wee hours of the dawn, the FM completed her job 11 to 1. And then it was all talking to the media alone. But my team and me, we were all sitting together, burning over the midnight oil. Why? The biggest challenge was old and new ne correlate karwano. And see, they said we are going to bring in simplification. Now, what is the simplification I want to tell you? Friends, the new law is going to be effective from 1st of April. 500 plus sections. Now, already in the finance bill of 2026, which runs into 222 pages, for the first time, we have 23 amendments which pertain to the old law, 1961, and 87 amendments which pertain to the new Income Tax Act, which has yet not even been born. So what has happened, two sections have been completely omitted. Abortion થઈ ગયું, બે ના તો. Why? Because, this is so dynamic. I don't blame you, but it is impossible for you to really handle this. And what happened? Because of this, two sections omitted, 9 sections substituted altogether, and 87 sections amended. So just imagine, almost 20% of your new law, which is nothing but the old wine in the new bottle, is virtually rolled over. And if this is starting with the very first year, how long is this going to remain? What will be the simplicity? એના કરતા શું ખોટું હતું? આજે let me do this quiz. If I ask anybody what is 80C, you will immediately understand. If I ask you what is 87A, क्या कहोगे? Debate. I'll just say a number, and even an ordinary taxpayer, forget just the section title, will be able to tell me the whole provision of the section, because we have been used to that, right? They said our old law is very complicated because so many alphabets and explanations and provisos and notwithstandings. But Baba, we have been used to it all these years. In your own house, people get up from their bed. If they have to go to the washroom, sometimes houses are such, you stand up, go to the left, turn to the right, then walk straight, and then finally take 4 steps ahead and then enter the washroom. This may be very complicated for a new person, but somebody who's been doing that every day, he's most comfortable. On the contrary, if the same person, you are put in a hotel room where stepping out of your bed straight away is the door to the washroom, you will still want to be sure that you are going to the right place. So I could have understood if it was going to be something radically reformative. I'll take you through the provisions. And my very first campaign is, Harinbhai, I would like you to even use your good offices to take this message to the parliament. In fact, let this not be an ego issue. You did something in 1 year what was not done probably for more than 10 years. I appreciate you had a huge team, but then the agenda that you took on hand, the question is it going to serve the purpose of being a true carrier of the Reform Express? It should be an engine of growth for the Reform Express. But friends, I'm sorry to say, this act has disappointed. And therefore I say, विकसित भारत के लिए अनुकूल ऐसे अंदाज पत्र पर हमारे आयकर दाता हुए हैं बहुत व्याकुल. And the Reform Express for Viksit Bharat, in my opinion, is literally turned into a local shuttle on the tax front. Because even when You know what? In fact, if you have gone through the memorandum explaining the provisions of the finance bill, this is a very important document. And under that, you have various heads under which the provisions are grouped. The first head is, it talks about rates of taxes for the coming financial year. Now, here also your big challenge is you have the rates under the old regime, you have the rates under the new regime. Now, primarily under the 1961 Act, friends, if you all recall, we were told, and I think that was the right approach, Savanbhai, you'll also agree, we all supported that, we don't need an act which gives so many exemptions and deductions and all that. Because what happens? More the exemptions and deductions, more issues of interpretation, more litigation, more scope of mischief. You provide 100% deduction to a political party, people give it, and then everybody starts getting notices. But why do you want to do it at all? So I think we were in the right direction. The focus was, let us have a simple law. Even under the 61 Act, that was being done. And it was being phased out. What they had said was, for some time, we will have the old regime where you have the option of choosing that and opting for the higher rates, but enjoying those deductions and exemptions. But gradually, finance ministers, including Madam Nirmala Sitharamanji herself, in her landmark budget last year, I think such pioneering changes were made in one single year. I don't recall, and this is what I had said from this forum last year, if you recall, that in the history of Indian taxation, if in one single year any finance minister has given the highest amount of tax reliefs, it was that budget of 25. Because they wanted finally that we should make the new regime attractive. So give graded rates, 4 lakhs, and then at every slab, you have the very marginal equitas, fair, reasonable, everything okay. And up to 24 lakhs, you don't even touch the maximum rate. Zero tax on 12 lakhs. Of course, I'll come to that zero tax on 12 lakhs a little later, because that again has been an optical illusion. But what I'm trying to say, friends, is after 2025, and we still don't have official figures because 2025, the returns are going to be filed this year and you will get to know. But I am told from informal sources in the North Block that after the new regime was made so attractive, after so many phases, practically it is expected that this year the number of tax returns with the old regime is going to be maybe less than 5%. Because only a fool, if you have to, we worked out, if you have to pay almost similar tax at a similar rate of income, you need deductions of 8-10 lakhs. From where are you going to get them under your Section 80 family? So we were expecting they would be phased out. But to my surprise, in the 2025 Act, almost over 30 sections relating to these deductions and exemptions, they have been literally bodily lifted and kept here. So I asked somebody in Delhi, I said, why? Because not only this, There are instances, and let me point out, Harinbhai, you were an MP in 1993. Right. At that time, a provision came to be introduced for a minor child. If you had a minor child, income of the minor would be clubbed with the income of the parent, whosoever's income is larger. Now, at that time, obviously you have to keep some threshold exemption. In 1993, that means almost 33 years ago, they had kept 1,500 rupees. It was a respectable amount of exemption. Can you believe it? Okay, they never had time to look at this in the 61 Act, but they were framing the new Act, and you take a look at it. Even today in 2025-26, the same limit of 1,500 rupees is continued. And I said, why? Why? So they said, we were only supposed to, AI machine was supposed to only change the language, not the figures. My God. So you tried to simplify the language. I'm just using simplify the language or the layout, but you never tried to rationalize the law. There are so many illogical provisions which still continue. And as I said, if you thought, because what was being advocated, the new law will be simple, stable, not to be disturbed, will. Baba, अभी तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ, and you have made almost 100, tamperings to it in the very first year. What will happen later? And we expected that if you were to phase out, because when I'm talking of rates, what has happened is, in the new Act, you have two slots of rates. One is new regime of the old Act, and other is old regime of the old. So ye naya, purana, this, that, it's going to be so tough. Why do you want to continue the old regime at all, when not even 5% of your taxpayers are going to avail of it? Why do you want the clutter here? Because every year in your finance bill, you will need to keep these two sets of rates. And as I said, this old and new, just changing numbers, confusion galore. You don't even realize that you mean. In fact, this time in the finance bill, there are half a dozen provisions where they have said they are like errata, in the sense that we had missed this out and missed that out, so we are correcting it now. So if this is the pace at which things are going, how do you expect taxpayers to live with this new tax? Sawan Bhai, chartered accountant of 24-25, he passed his examination. You taught him the 1961 Act. He's wanting to start his practice. He has this 2025 Act. Provisions are the same, but numbers all ulta pulta. It's making your life so difficult. And today, let me tell you, if you do not have an AI tool which gives you a comparison of the old sections with reference to the new in terms of numbers, you cannot even read or comprehend the finance bill. And what have you achieved? I knew Harinbhai was going to come, and he likes shairis, he's known as Chote Vajpayee in the parliament. और वाजपेयी जी है तो शायरी तो होनी चाहिए, एंड आई ट्राई टू लिव अप टू दैट. तो मैंने आज सोचा और एक शेर निकल गया, पुराने को नाम दे दिया नया. सुनिए, पुराने को नाम दे दिया नया, पर नए में सचमुच नया क्या आया? पर नए में सचमुच नया क्या आया? जब नए में ही पुराना था चिपकाना, जब नए में ही पुराना था चिपकाना, तो फिर पुराने में दोष क्या पाया? I still maintain, friends, it is time. Yes, we want simple, rational, logical, equitable provisions. But for God's sake, don't make the life of taxpayers and tax professionals so miserable. How many tax professionals or those who are practicing tax as accountants or as professionals or who have learned law as students, can you raise your hands? So many of you. So be prepared to pasti. All your library for all these years will soon become pasti. And who will play masti with you now? The new AI created law. AI. Friends, again, why I said this is a local shuttle? I was expecting, chalo, last year you gave a lot of relief, no problem. But this year, something, you have a reputation that you always are generous. More so, being a first lady prime minister, you are large-hearted. So we felt that at least some relief, if not to all, to the salaried taxpayer. Standard deduction कुछ बढ़ाएंगे. At least inflation का जो rate, nobody can claim कि there was no inflation last year. Inflation को तो आप cover करेंगे. But what has happened, they have for the first time, you look at this and it amuses you. There is a term, ease of living. Ease of living. Now, generally, what do you understand by ease of living? कि भाई आपकी lifestyle जो है वो अच्छी रहेगी, आसान होगा, सब. So you are expecting some relief. But under ease of living, they have put 7 provisions and maybe except one. The question is whether the remaining 6 are at all going to facilitate ease of living. At the most, they could be ease of compliance. But there is a difference. There is a difference between a concession or relief in monetary terms and some procedure being simplified for you. So what is it that they have brought? The only monetary relief I could find is very clear. You must have heard because it was there in the speech. Motor Accidents Claim Tribunal compensation, the interest you get on that will be exempt. So somebody came and told me, સાહેબ આ તો બહુ અઘરું છે. આનો લાભ લેવો હોય તો મારે મોટર ચલાવવી પડે, ક્યાંક ઠોકવી પડે, એમાં એક્સિડન્ટ કરવો પડે, કેસ કરવો પડે, એમાં મને અવોર્ડ કોમ્પન્સેશન થાય ને પછી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ થાય તો કંઈક હાથમાં આવે. What to say? This is your ease of living. Then, okay, it's welcome for the employer because there was a disallowance if there was some mistake and delay of paying the employee's contribution. We don't want the employer to play mischief, but there could be genuine bona fide lapses. So the employer is told now if you deposit the difference by the due date of filing the return, we will not disallow. Now, you call this as ease of living, and for whom? Employee or employer? Then, friends, you have TDS and TCS provisions. I'm not going into all those because I know Savanbhai is also looking at me. Savanbhai, don't worry. But these provisions, TDS and TCS, no doubt we welcome. Okay, if you are going abroad, earlier you were paying 5, now you pay 2. That's good. But it is not tax in absolute terms. It was only collected and you got set off. And you got refund also if it was extra. Now refunds come like this. So what is ease of living there? Maybe yes, ease of compliance. Then friends, they say return of income. Return of income, that 9 months and 12 months provision. Now there also, they have made in this budget 2 parallel chains. I'll come to that because it's a little important. But under the old act and under the new act. So you have to study and understand this. And then, friends, you have your updated. So return filing. If there is some simplicity, we welcome it. But that could have been done under any law. What is so great about ease of living here? That apart, friends, what has happened is under another head. And why, I am having this grievance ke FM ne kuch nahi diya, chalo. For the first time, I have been listening to budgets all these years. When there is a concluding part of the budget, I have a parliamentarian. What does the FM say? The revenue impact of my proposals is so much of revenue foregone, so much of revenue gathered. In part B, Harin Bhai, I could not believe it. I did not hear it in the speech, but I thought maybe to save time, she just skipped that part. But it is not there. For the first time, even economists are kept in suspense as to what is actually. Frankly speaking, there was no question of any revenue outgo because there was no relief. MACT ma to kya avanu chhe atyare kai bo. So that is why was it that the bureaucrats did not draft that at all? Whatever it be. But this was a departure. And my complaint is your tax revenues were growing in such a healthy way. What prevented you? Friends, let me share these figures with you. For 25-26, that is the current year, the revised estimates, I am talking only personal income tax, not corporate tax, okay? Personal income tax figures were 13 lakhs and 12,000 crores. Very healthy amount, okay? In fact, just 5 years ago, this was around 419,000. So it has multiplied in 3 times in 5 years, in spite of all concessions and other things having been given in the past few years. This year, in the 26-27 budget estimates, against 13 lakhs and 12,000 crores, you see the figure 14 lakhs 66,000. So what is the additional collection? 1 lakh and 54,000 crores, which is how much percentage of 13 lakh and 12,000? You'll immediately say 12%. A finance minister is getting a 12% healthy growth from income taxpayers like you and me, who are honestly paying our taxes. And we are being shown a why? Tango. At least something, and that's my grievance. Why have we been left out? And that too by these googlies, that you are trying to classify procedural changes as monetary reliefs. Friends, I also want to bring to your notice that there is a great talk about, rationalization. They say we have brought in so much of rationalization. And what they have really tried to highlight is we have rationalized and simplified the law relating to penalties and prosecution. And they have used this term which you saw and heard all along yesterday, decriminalization. Now let me read what is this rationalization that has come. Friends, the rationalization that they say is, kindly bear with me, they say that it is proposed to amend all these sections. Now, I'm not reading because these new sections of the new act will not make any sense to you. But you know the penalties and prosecution, 271 to 276 and all these sections, right? So they say, in the light of continued exercise of decriminalization and to make the punishment for the offenses mentioned proportionate to the crimes, the principles that are followed in the proposed decriminalization exercise are, and what is the rationalization? First, the nature of punishment is changed from rigorous imprisonment to simple imprisonment wherever prescribed. જેલમાં તો નાખવાના, પણ earlier it was 7 years, now it will be 2 years. You call this rationalization? And why do you want, if somebody has really done something wrong, let him face it. Now, what is so great about it? And then rationalization of penalties. I think what has hardly appeared in the media or what has been talked about. In fact, she made a reference to it. But when you actually read the provisions, आप खड़े हो जाओगे. What you are being told is, and you know, the justification they are trying to give, that is even something which, you know, literally disturbs. Because what they say is, in these provisions of rationalization here, what they are saying is, as far as penalty is concerned, now they say we want to change these principles for levy of penalty. And the justification they are giving is this, that currently these penalties are levied and then they take a long time in the litigation, etc., because they are imposed. First, there is an assessment, and then there is initiation of penalty. You go in appeal against the assessment, and then what happens is, when the assessment is finalized, if it is sustained, there will be a penalty. If it is knocked off, obviously no question of penalty. But what they are saying is, you know, all this takes a lot of time and complication, etc. We want to simplify. So what we will do is, along with the assessment order, we will also pass the penalty order. Hare Baba, you are making an addition, and you know, officers, they are how many additions made are actually knocked off in appeal, if not in the first, in the second? How much, Upendra bhai? Ketla? 9, by the time it reaches a tribe, maybe 93 is a little optimistic figure, even if it is 3/4. 75% પણ નીકળી જતા હોય, તો why do you want to impose penalty and create demands at the stage when the assessment, and then the reason for which they are giving here, shocking. What they say is, we need to end the anxiety of the taxpayers as to what will happen in their case. Therefore, it is better to pass the penalty along with the assessment. This is what the explanatory memorandum is writing. So you are being told if you have to die, better die today. Why are you waiting? And be relaxed. Friends, what is really unacceptable is this language. How can you write? I'm literally saying this. And then they are saying that, okay, we are bringing in new provisions for granting immunity from penalty. And my friends know granting immunity, you have two kinds of penalty. One is penalty for underreporting, which is just a technical fault, 50%. And there is a penalty for misreporting, where there are specific instances that this is misreporting. But then the language in the section is, if the underreporting is as a consequence of misreporting. Now, this literal language of the 1961 Act has been bodily lifted and put in here also. And we know what officers do. Tell me nobody passes an underreporting 50%. Everybody goes for 200%. Against the provisions of law. So what happens? Now, again, if you want to get immunity, the condition is, first of all, you have to pay additional tax in case of misreporting, 30% tax, and 100% of that, another 30. So you have to be prepared to pay 60. They have brought it at par with that search provision. Search my disclosure karo. Here, if you are accepting it, we will recover 60%. But the condition is, you will not go in appeal. You will have to pay the tax. Now what happens? Jodku janmyu chhe. And they cannot be separated with each other. That means you have no option but to accept, that terror which is inflicted on you. If at all you want a little bit of a certainty, ke bhai, I want immunity. Though you may be in a 50% compartment where there is no additional tax also here. So, to be very honest, I want to tell Sawan bhai, I am going tomorrow to Surat and day after to Rajkot, tomorrow morning in Baroda. In fact, I have gatherings where there are tax professionals and I'll be addressing them, and they patiently listen to me for 2.5 hours. Sometimes we've had meetings, Harin bhai, like a Dhurandhar movie, 3.5 hours, because if that was when Chidambaram ji brought those FBT provisions and all that. So I'm not going to take too much of time. I would like to wrap up very shortly, but with these sensitivities, at least friends, sharing with you that let's first of all try to, if we can do something before 1st April, let's not make it such an issue that we cannot. Let's be pragmatic. We want to live with this. And these notorious provisions, they just cannot stay. If I have to deal with each and every provision, it's going to be very challenging. I'll very quickly run through a couple of them which are important. And what you have read in the media, what you have popularly heard, I don't want to repeat. You all know you will get, if you are in business, not in audit, you will get 1 month extra. Instead of July, it will be August. They have brought in some provisions are welcome also. They say revised return. Revised return, today it is up to December. We'll give you 3 months extra. But then these bureaucrats, ek baar lohi chakhiyo, and they always want a little pound of flesh. So there is a fee attached to it. And what they've done is practically, the problem with penalties could be challenged. And if you could show that there was a reasonable cause or valid cause, they could be knocked off. So for last so many years, what they do is they bring in fees. So in this case, Say, for example, if you have not filed your return in time, you file it late, you have to pay one fee first, up to 5,000 rupees. And if you then want to revise it between December and March, you have to pay another fee. Now, there also, this drafting is such, they could have said that in the second case, we will levy so much of this if it is like this. But then I am reminded of Newton. Newton શું કરતો હતો? મોટી બિલાડીનું મોટું કાણું, નાની બિલાડીનું નાનું કાણું. So like that, you have provisions in this act, friends. And we call this as the act of our 21st century. There are a few other provisions which I need to sensitize you on, apart from what you would be knowing and what you will have time to catch up. But a few things, in fact, every time I received a few questions and from friends in different places. And one of the things, or two of the questions, one was about sovereign gold bond. You might have read about it. Sovereign gold bond, in fact, I myself in my tax guru series, based on the language, it was a loophole, but I had opined that, okay, here in the sovereign gold bonds, at the time of redemption, you get the exemption if you are an individual. The current language is any transfer by way of redemption. So there was no condition that you should have been the original subscriber. So, people doing smart planning, what they would do is, before redemption, 2 years, 3 years, they would buy from the market, get the redemption, and enjoy the exemption. Well, that was on the base of the law as it prevailed. They have amended the law, fortunately, with effect from 1st April. So I am duty bound to share with you that as an intelligent and upright Ahmedabadi who should live up to his reputation or her reputation, you are free to enjoy the benefit of this provision until 31st of March. That's what the FM says, between now and 31st March. So these are just small loopholes, but keep them in mind. In case you have purchased, if you sell after 1st April, it will be taxed. You can do this. Friends, buyback of shares. We always remember our history, Delhi to Daulatabad and Daulatabad to Delhi. You are back again from dividend and dividend to capital gains. Now somebody was saying, "Are dividend saru hatu." મેં કીધું કેમ? તો કે પેલા 12 લાખ રૂપિયાના અમારા એક્ઝમ્પશનમાં આવતું હતું ને, so I have income less than 12 lakhs, I was getting the benefit, so I didn't have to pay tax. But now if you treat it as capital gains, friends, I have spoken so much on this, I have written so much on this, I am still not able to take it. Why? This optical illusion. I'll just give one example, and Harin bhai, this is one point. If you can, as a parliamentarian, I tell you, you will get blessings of not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of taxpayers. Because who today in the market does not have at least some small capital gain, long-term or short-term? You have it, right? And there are so many cases where incomes are less than 12 lakhs. See the irony of it. There is a senior citizen who has income of 6 lakhs. 6 lakh hai. 4 lakhs is his pension and 2 lakhs is short-term capital gains. IPO mane bada maine bharya hase paisa to. So the total tax computation, though it is below 12 lakhs, the rebate will not be allowed under 87A without any limitation. The computation would be on 4 lakhs, your tax will be 0 because that's the basic exemption. On 2 lakhs, what is the tax you have to pay? Only 40,000. 87A says you can get rebate of up to 60,000 if your income is less than 12 lakhs. You are just at half the limit. But you will not get the benefit. Why? Because last year the bureaucrats said we will not allow rebate on capital gains. So it's a curse for you. This time a sin tax came on what? What is that sin tax? You used to smoke, then you had to pay tax on cigarettes. In the markets, what is known as the sin tax now? F and O. Where it is still a mystery. I've been trying to find out for the last 2 days how much of revenue they are going to get. Because from 50% to 250% is the hike in F&O. And the North Block says, we have brought in this tax. Why? Because we don't want people to do risky things. Now, if you are doing something in the market, you are doing it with your own understanding. My friends from the market, they say, of course, yesterday, market mein khana kharabi was attributable to that. Of course, that is not everything. The market still appreciates that we are moving forward towards a good economy. So it will pick up. I am not going into this debate of securities transaction tax and FNOs. But today, let me tell you, the irony of it is, if you are doing FNO up to 12 lakhs, you will get zero tax. Why? Because FNO is business income, and according to that, the provision that is up to 60,000, no tax. 12 lakhs, no tax. But because you have long-term or short-term gain, taxable at 12.5 or 20%, you will not get rebate. Why this discrimination? And what will happen? There are those provisions, 15H senior citizens ape. Senior citizen, when he gives the 15H and they say now we are bringing separate prescribed authorities for that and all that, how would he know that he will earn not even 1 rupees gain during that year? And if he has given a 15H saying that I have no tax to pay, and there is some capital gain on which he has to pay tax, theoretically he can be prosecuted by the department for making a wrong declaration. Why? Friends, the anomalies like this are literally galore. And if they continue, you will have no solution for resolving the disputes. I want to ask before I end, 7:10 is my time? I'll do it. And then, of course, friends, at the end, after Savanbhai's presentation on economy, we have some 20-25 minutes. If time permits, I think we will have it. We'll have question answers between him and me, whoever can answer. But before I conclude, I want to ask you, with all these provisions, one area where the FM has been totally silent, and what concerns me is the heartburns we get on account of the CPC processing, about which taxpayers are helpless. Why? Because there is no remedy. We are thinking of approaching through a public judiciary forum. Now, this time, I have the last two observations to make, friends. It is a matter of great embarrassment. I don't know whether the Honorable Prime Minister is aware about it, or even the Finance Minister is aware about it. But not 1, 2, 3, and 4 provisions have been retrospectively amended by the finance bill. And what is most shocking, friends, is these provisions, I can understand if they were small things and you had just missed out on that in some small way, but these are provisions which are retrospective from 2007 to, that means 20 years, 2009, 2019, and 2021. And all these four are where Supreme Court or High Courts held in favor of taxpayers. I want to say this because I recall in 2014 when Jetli ji presented his first budget, on the floor of the house he said, "We do not believe in retrospect." The only retrospective amendment was the Vodafone case, which was of national importance. Now here, just because, and what they are trying to give an explanation is, after 20 years, after 19 years, after 5 years, we are making these retrospective amendments. Why? Because we are introducing the new act, and under new act we have taken this view. Therefore, we want that the same view should prevail under the old act ever since this introduction of this provision. What an explanation you are giving. I can understand if there was something, but what is going to happen because of this? Just imagine the amount of litigation. And now who will have trust in the finance ministry, in the Central Board of Direct Taxes? You're talking of stability, you're talking of simplicity, you're talking of clarity, and you are making not one but four amendments, retrospective from 20 years, just because Supreme Court or High Courts took a view which was not favorable to you. So if you have not even respect for the judiciary, friends, who will have faith and trust in the administration? And you know what is the current figure of disputes at the first appeal authority level, commissioner appeals? You know what is the number of cases that have piled up? Anybody, any guess? They had to give this number in a public interest litigation some time ago before the Gujarat High Court. And today that number is more than 600,000 appeals are pending before the Commissioner of Income Tax and the First Appellate Authority. And the High Court said, with your current manpower and personnel, you will not be able to dispose this off for years together. Today, the pendency, Upendra bhai, kitla varas ase? 5 to 6 years. Appeals of 5 to 6 years are pending. They want to bring assessment and penalty together. The only relief they are talking is, we will not charge interest for the demand, But Finance Minister says, earlier we were recovering 20%. Now we are bringing it down because there is a consolidated order. We will recover 10%. But 10% of a completely bogus assessment order on the top of which you are putting a 200% penalty. Friends, what are you talking about? I am so sorry to say, but this very important key area of dispute resolution, let me tell you, if they have no solution to this, the system will break down. Today in appeal, in the tribunal, there are benches of the tribunal where they have no appeals pending before them. Why? Because appeals are not coming, decided from the lower authorities. So tribunals are left without decision of appeals. More than 600,000 appeals already piled up, and on the top of it, this great provisions of what they call as ease of living. Friends, I think it is time. And if we do not act, if we do not raise our voice in the right manner, at the right moment, the right time, history will be a witness to it that even small mistakes and blunders can cost you for a long time to come. I only pray that better time prevails. And I conclude once again that this is a budget, a reform express, unquestionably for Viksit Bharat. In fact, today, we just decided that let me do the kharkhara part and then he will do the little rosy, thing. Because I have nothing to really cheer, honestly speaking, except raise my voice. But I think I'm doing my duty. I have done it. And over to you, Savan Bhai. Though it is February, please be with your Savan Bhadon and try to please our audience. Thank you.